Well, there's been some horrendous things happening again in the world this week. I'm not going to dwell on them, but for that reason, I'm going to keep this a nice warm place of the internet, nice little corner where we can share our love of fishing. Because when things like that happen, it really puts everything in perspective. You know, when we get a bad peg, it just, you know, sometimes you just got to get a grip of yourself. So for that reason, I'm going to kick off with two nice little stories for you from the weekend. Stayed in digs on Saturday night, and it was a good excuse to have a night away with Dad. We had a nice slap up meal and stuff, a couple of beers. It was great, and we were right next to the venue at Ferry Meadows. I took the flask into the breakfast area for him, and he was obviously going to be sat watching me and just kind of soaking up the atmosphere in the event. And the kind people at the digs actually did him a flask of coffee. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I drew peg 92 at Ferry Meadows. A lot of you will know that it takes about 30 minutes to walk there. Took him even longer, bless him. And when he got there, he couldn't wait for a cup of coffee. And when he got there was no milk or sugar in it. So guess what happened? About an hour later, he got chatting to somebody, and he actually turned out to be the bailiff of Ferry Meadows. He proceeded to walk around the lake, just saying hello to everybody like he does, whilst Dad sat with me. An hour later, guess what happened? The bailiff had walked all the way around the full length of the lake with a flask for him with some milk as well, so he could have a good cup of coffee. How about that? How nice is that? And I can't believe this actually happened. After the match, there was somebody stood behind my peg with my dad and just chatting away, and he was with he'd got a mountain bike. I actually found out just before the scales came. He started talking to me, but it was just as the scales came. He'd actually cycled 30 miles to see that match and come and say hello. I cannot believe it. And when I weighed in, I turned around after that and he'd gone. He was not there. So if you're watching, please get in touch. I know you just wanted to talk about the match and just how I'd fished and stuff. Please I never got your name or anything. Please just get in touch. You know, my dad enjoyed chatting to you as well. So fantastic. How good commitment is that to just come and watch your match? Awesome. Well, on Saturday I was on a fishing day with Steve from Stoke. We had a wonderful day. We had all sorts of weather. We got wet about 3 times. There were storms and all sorts passing through. But here's a few clips from how it went. No prizes for guessing where I am. Saturday morning, fantastic Barston Lakes. Just having a fishing day today with Steve. Just heading back up to the clubhouse now for a breakfast. We've got a match on. There's a 48-hour. Let's look at the fish here. We've just had a major downpour. It's cleared the air and everything, but Steve's come off his skimmer line now. He's caught loads of skimmers at 20 metres, but he's just gone back out onto his long rod now. He's fishing. Is that the 14-foot rod, that one? Yeah. 14-foot rod. He's casting, well, bang in line with him actually. He's not casting to the island because that's in the next peg, and he's got a call now. That could be Tom Pickering, that. He's heard about his performance today. It could be Tommy. Yeah. F1 is it? He's fishing 75 metres. He's got it clipped up now. Been in the same spot every time. Obviously that wind's dropped now, but chunky fish, lovely. 8mm banded pellet. Dad's bagging. Get that one. It's too easy. As you can see, they caught loads of fish. I think Dad had loads of skimmers, and Steve kind of wanted to concentrate on that 75 metre line with the method where he caught some F1s and small carp and stuff. And then he also had a look at that cage approach. You know, we fished a nice cage feeder, shorter, and fantastic day. I was really impressed with Steve, to be fair, because he could have quite easily just got his head down and just had a day's fishing, but he wanted to work on the things, and when the swim died, especially on the skimmer line, he wasn't rushing to get off it and go back on the method. He wanted to kind of work it out, and we did work something out. It was brilliant, especially when we got an instant response from a couple of things that we did. So if you're watching, Steve, fantastic day, mate. Pleasure to meet you, and I know Dad loved the day as well, so thanks for letting him fish next to you and just kind of talk all day. Right, there's one or two questions again this week, so I'll just crack straight on with those. The first question was, if I had the choice, would I select a fixed method feeder or a free running method feeder? Personally, fixed method feeder every time for me. You know, the one with the elastic down the middle. It really is that quite simple. I just think, you know, the bites are better, and fish hook themselves a lot better, and I just feel a bit more comfortable playing them, because I think sometimes a free running feeder, you can sometimes run up and down the line as you're playing fish, and especially if it's a heavy feeder and you know you're casting at range, it can be 40 gram maybe, sometimes more, and that just constantly, when you're playing the fish, especially near the net when it's bouncing down onto the quick change bead, I just think that sometimes has an impact and can cause lost fish. So for me, fixed feeder. The next question was a bit of a good one. Could be a bit of a chicken and the egg scenario, this one. Basically what the guy was asking was, noticed that when some lads decide to go full-time or become a full-time angler or a pro angler or whatever you want to call it, they suddenly start getting results. What he's basically aiming at is saying, well, did they get good and that enabled them to go full-time, or is it just purely the act of going full-time that's allowed them to spend more time on the bank, which has meant they get results? I think it's a bit of both. You know, you've got to get to, if you're going to make that decision whether you're going to pack work in or if you're financially stable. Obviously, if money's not an issue to you, that's not you know, you don't have to worry about it. But obviously, if you're going to take the risk by packing a job in or working or whatever it might be, in order to spend more time on the bank as a match angler, then I think you've got to be at a certain level where you're going to be expecting some kind of money back in return. But what I have got to say is, just the pure action of doing that will allow you to spend more time on the bank. And as with anything, if you're spending more time on the bank, you're naturally, if you're working at it, you're going to become a better angler. It's like anything. It's like, you know, whether you're a painter, a decorator, whatever. If you're doing it 4 days a week or 5 days, whatever, if you're doing it, you know, all the time, you're going to get better at it. So I think that's a bit of both. But yeah, I mean, it'd be a massive gamble for most people to do that. And I think they'd have to be very, very selective about the events that they go in. They're going to have to be profitable events, the ones that are, you know, where you're actually going to be winning, you know, a substantial amount of money, and you need to run it like a business. That's the way I see it. You know, the mileage that you're travelling to venues, the way you manage your bait, your tattle, you know, everything you spend on your fishing, you need to work that out as regards what potentially you could be getting back. You know, it's I think you'd have to run it as a business. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that'll ever be an issue for me, but I mean, I've got plans in place to do various things, but yeah, I think that's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a tricky one, that one. But yeah, if you spend more time doing something, you're naturally going to get better at it. This one could slightly be connected with the previous question. Loads of people have asked me about this. It's about how much I and the people I know spend on going to the matches that I compete in. How does that relate to the kind of money that you can or potentially win? I've been asked loads and loads of time about it, so I'm going to do a 5-minute vlog just about that, and that will be uploaded Monday. Monday's a bank holiday. That will be uploaded then 6:30, so that's just about that. Alright, they're the Q&As. Feeder Masters last week, just a quick update for you. I didn't do a live match video for it. I never got the cameras out of the bag, to be fair. I was in two minds on the bank, but it was a bit manic at the draw and loading the barrow up and all that sort of stuff, getting it, even once I got to the peg, because Dad was there. I just didn't really have much time to do it justice, to be fair. So a quick rundown for you. I drew peg 92 at Ferry Meadows, obviously. On my right was Jeff Valance. Hiya Jeff, if you're watching. And on my left was Brian Nesbitt. Hello Brian, if you're watching. Cut long story short, I was the first to catch in that little zone there. I had a hybrid 8 ounce after about 15-20 minutes, nearly pulled a rod in, and then that was it for a good hour and a half. What happened was, in that period, 4 anglers down to my right started catching a fish almost every cast for a short period. 2 guys coming back this way, he started catching, and from then on we were kind of playing catch up, and I was just going nowhere till about 2 hours into the match, and Jeff had caught 5 fish next to me, I think it was, on his short line. Then Brian, he had a run of fish in the middle of the match, so they remained about 2 fish in front of me. Even after I'd caught, I ended up with 4 bream on worm at 50 metres, and then nothing at all no signs on my short line, and what happened was there was exactly 2 hours and 15 minutes left. Both anglers either side of me, Jeff and Brian, were about 2 or 3 fish in front of me, and that was like, obviously we were there to qualify in that 20 peg zone. That was the whole thing I was there to do, and we estimated that the lads up to our right who caught early on had probably got about £50 then. So I was suddenly chasing, you know, I was looking at possibly just under £20. I needed another £30, at least £40 even, to stand a chance, so I just went for it. 2 hours and 15 minutes left. I stood up and I spent 15 minutes just casting, just filling it in on that 50-metre line. I just filled it in, loads of bait, just because I thought if I'm going to get a visit, I don't want 2 or 3 fish, I need 10 fish, and that's exactly what I aim to do. And after half an hour, the tip went round and I got one about £6, a bream, and then I got 4 in 5 chucks. I came off a fish, and that was it. That was my match, done. They never returned. I never had any more indications. So Jeff on my right weighed £39, I think it was, Jeff, if I'm right, and Brian on my left weighed 40 odd. I can't remember, Brian. £48 was it? £49, and my 8 fish went £29. So whilst 4 of them were a good stamp, the other 4 weren't very big at all. The interesting thing was I think I was the only one there on those 2 pegs that caught long. Both Jeff and Brian, their shorter lines were better than mine, and that was it really. So I was down in the zone. You know, once you chase, you don't want to be chasing any match, but especially not a bream match. So that's really how my match panned out. So massive congratulations to the qualifiers. I'm not counting that as a chance because with the approach that I had, I was never in it. But I think Brian said it first. Brian on my left, he said it first, where £66 won the zone and the match. We think that weight was in front of us had we fished it differently. Fished a little bit better than what we thought, so maybe we'd all been a little bit negative. We'll never know, but we think that weight was there. The way that I fished it, I wasn't going to get that weight, so I'm not counting that as a chance. But as regards a draw, yeah, there was £66 out there in front of us. Right, so this weekend we've got the Southfield 3-day festival. I'm booked on. It's a 60 peg sellout, 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it's going to be done on section points. I think it's 3 zones of 20, so you're going to rotate through the zones over the 3 days. What I'm going to do is a little bit of an experiment, just like I'm going to do as well next week with this channel, is I'm going to, rather than just do one video for the whole competition, a lot of people have been asking for daily vlogs, and I'm willing to try it out with the channel. I can do this now, so I'm going to try it. So as long as the views and everything goes the right way, I'll continue to do this. So for this 3-day festival, it's going to run, the video will run over 5 days. Okay, Monday, the Monday of the week that it goes live, Monday is going to cover my bait preparation for that match. They're not going to be long videos, but it's just snapshot videos, one each night. The first one on the Monday will be bait. The second one is just a preparation. I get my rods ready, what kind of rods I'm going to be using, what kind of reels and that sort of stuff, and the feeders that I expect to be using. And then the following 3 days will be the first day, the second day and the third day with the results. So that's going to run Monday to Friday for you, and if loads of people watch it and loads of people share it and they get more subscribers, I'll keep doing things like that. Okay, and the last bit of news for you is next week there's going to be a vlog every single day from Monday through to Friday. 5 on the trot, nice little snippets, daily vlogs, just like some people have wanted. I'm going to try it. If it works and the views are there and people keep sharing and people keep subscribing, let's keep it going. The shorter ones are easier for me to do, so let's give it a go. So from Monday 6:30 onwards all week, and there's going to be a video every week. So if you don't want to miss it, please subscribe. Just click subscribe below, then you'll be kept in the loop with every single one that comes up live. Well, that's it. Hopefully it's been a little bit upbeat for you. I've raced through it again, but hopefully a lot of you guys, find it interesting just what I'm up to and what kind of matches we've got coming up. Like I said, 3 days at Southfield this weekend. Really looking forward to it. There'll be a major major footage from that match for you. It's going to run over the course of a week. That'll be in 2 weeks time, and then next week, don't forget, from Monday right the way through the week, there's going to be a video every single night 6:30. So just a daily check-in with you about what I get up to in the week as regards preparing my kit and organising my bait and all that sort of stuff, the stuff that people never really hear about. So there you go. It's Friday tomorrow. I know I'm going to see some of you at the weekend. Hope to see a lot of the Southfield lads, and some very good anglers going to be there at the weekend. I think it's good. The weather's going to be nice, not necessarily bream weather, but if we get a result, who cares what the weather's like? And I think Dad's going to be with me on a couple of matches. And a big thank you to a lot of you that made a bit of a fuss over him last weekend. I think he came on, virtually lost his voice. I couldn't believe how friendly everyone was to him. So yeah, he just loves the buzz and he loves meeting you lads. And yeah, thanks for that. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. So have a great weekend anyway. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, from Monday there's going to be a vlog every week. So please get subscribed up. You'll get a message when they go on. So you're potentially looking at 2 solid weeks of vlogs every single night. Have a great weekend, and hope to see you next week.